Anybody else final stats?
Players? Gotcha. I could do coach. Yeah, I'll record. Yeah, that's fine. Wait, is he going to get the printer? Okay.
I'll take the best. Thank you. Let me know if they walk in.
Okay, we'll give the opening statement from Coach and then take questions after, so keep your hands up, please.
Yeah, obviously, big rival game. It's Auburn told me it's first back-to-back wins, so they were tough, hard-fought wins to get. So maybe you got to give Auburn a ton of credit. I mean, they came ready to play. I thought they were better than us, especially early in the game. We were fortunate to only be down 4 at the half. Thought our close to the half, we were down 10 with 2.5 to go to close. Got 6 points off that lead. It was huge. Told our guys at the half, and we couldn't have played much worse. We had 9 turnovers. We didn't do anything good offensively, barely. Defensively, we need to be a lot better, and we're getting killed on the glass, and somehow we're only down 4. So we were fortunate, and, got it together a little bit better in the second half. Only had 5 second-half turnovers. Thought our guards made some big shots. Biggs made some tough defensive plays. I thought Aiden Sherrill kind of really bounced back, had 4 blocks tonight. He was pretty good there late when we needed him. We coaching staff kind of screwed up with the challenge when we did. It would have been nice to have one there in that goaltend. So we got to do a little bit better. I thought Phylon Holloway played really well late. The 4-point play Holloway got was he scored his 1,000th career point. So I'm sure it was nice for him to score his 1,000th point back here in a win. I thought Phylon made some big shots. We made free throws. I mean, you kind of go down with our guards. Murray didn't miss a free throw. Phylon didn't miss one in the second half. Holloway went 4 or 5. Even our bigs, Sherrill and Pediaco, went 2 for 2 and 2 for 3. So making free throws late. Some defensive plays we had to make late. London Jimison, I thought, played really well. We got to keep him out of foul trouble. With Taylor not quite being as healthy, and kind of gave us a little scare there in the first half. Thought it was huge that London stepped up the way he did, hit the big 3, had the big turnover for us there late in the second half. So a lot of plays on both ends of the ball from our guys. A lot of grit, a lot of toughness with the adversity. I mean, Reitzel's got, we don't know what exactly the right knee injury. He's going to get examined tomorrow, but he's kind of been one of our tougher guys playing both sides of the ball. He's only able to play 10 minutes, and Taylor only plays 7. So 2 of our more veteran guys with limited minutes, and we were able to step up and get a win on the road. So proud of our guys.
Starting the right here, Blake.
Yeah, Holloway had that stretch late where he scored 9 straight for you guys. Just what did you make of his performance late and his ability to be steady?
I mean, really talented player. I think he showed he's got some clutch genes. I mean, I didn't realize it was 9 straight, but it doesn't surprise me in hindsight. It's a 4-point play in the middle of all that, and I had the one layup. He had the left-handed. Just back-to-back games when he's hit super tough shots from. They called the foul, and the other one, maybe he did, maybe he didn't hear, but he somehow had to end up getting a tough shot off. Man, he's skilled, and he's stepping up big late in games. I thought he was better on defense today too. We've been challenging him to, really step it up on defense. His quickness on the offense. Yeah, I'm looking right now. He actually had a positive defensive leverage today, so I'm really proud of him for that. And our defense was better when he was on the floor tonight. So play hard on defense, kind of let the offense foul. I think he's got the right mindset going, and it resulted in some big plays late in the game.
Another Holloway question. This is not his first time playing back here, but he's still getting booed all the time. Still a lot of pressure on him. How do you see him handle that?
Charles took a little bit off of him today. So, good teammates. They shared in that. I think he's fine. I've talked to him the night before both these games here, and he's not bothered by it. I mean, he knew it was coming. I mean, that's what they do. The best way to shut them up. They were pretty quiet when we left today. Best way to quiet them was just win on the scoreboard. So they were quiet last year. They were quiet this year. He's 2-0 coming back here. So pretty good record for him coming back into Neville.
This is the second game in a row that y'all have tightened up the rotation a little bit. Do you kind of feel like you're getting to the place where you have the rotation that you like?
I don't want to quite say that just because Taylor and Reitzel were out. But, yeah, it's hard to play a ton of guys. We ended up playing 9. It was pretty good. Obviously, Reitzel and Taylor would have played a lot more minutes if they were healthy. Probably not ideal playing Mari Allen 35 minutes. He struggled defensively late in the game. Hall gets fouled a lot, so we were trying to guard him without fouling. We didn't do a great job of doing that. But he ended up with 24. He's pretty talented, but it's second half of conference play. You kind of got to go with guys that you've built some trust up with, and that's what we're trying to do right now.
What adjustments do you feel like you guys made defensively to clamp down more in the second half?
We were able to switch up our pick and roll coverage a little bit. Pettiford started getting going, and we brought our bigs up a little higher. Tried to blitz them. I think we had the one turnover there when we blitzed them on his pick and rolls. Some of the, they didn't turn the ball over much. He had 2 of their 5 turnovers. We still aren't doing a very good job turning people over. But, I thought that was one big adjustment. We went to switching late, too, to try to help take away threes. I thought our rebounding was a big issue. It's not like some schematic adjustment, but, I believe they had 10 old boards in the first half and had 4 in the second half. That's a big difference. So giving them a bunch of second chance points, they still killed us. Actually, they ended up tied in second chance points. It was points off turnovers where they killed us, but, they better, just our little bit more defensive playmaking and played a little bit harder, which always helps, but no huge. We went to the zone the one play. Of course, they hit the 3. It's what it seems like always happens when you do it, but we tried that and didn't work very well.
2 more up front.
Coach Bediako went a perfect 5 of 5 from the field. Can you talk about his impact on the game and what you saw out there, how he helped create some mismatches for you guys today?
Yeah, no, Charles, big target inside. Our guards, I thought, missed him a few times where they could have got him, but they did find him, when he got it. He was always super efficient when he was here. He handled the ball on the break on the one, got fouled. He 2 for 3 at the line. I thought just his impact on defense with the the rebound, he ended up leading the team in blue collar points, so he had some deflections and just I think impacted the game a little that way, even offensive rebound tips and stuff. So yeah, he's good. He finished at the rim. He's got a great demeanor about him. I thought he handled the environment really well, and I'm proud of how he's been here.
Last one, Hunter.
Yeah, LeBaron had 25 points. Just as an in-state kid, how does that kind of go for him?
Yeah, he's super talented. Got it going. Made some tough shots. Bailed us out when we had some really bad possessions late. We'd like to keep the turnovers down. He had, I think, 3 right out of the gate. So to only have 1 the rest of the game was a lot better. We got to continue to get him to keep his turnovers down. In these games, we play a lot better when he's not turning the ball over and moving it. But he did lead us in assists with 6, 26 or 25, 6 and 5. Pretty good night. It's nice to have an in-state kid play really well in the in-state rivalry game. But shoot, we needed anybody to play well. We need him to play well in every game. So not sure it means any more, but he's been good in a lot of games for us. He was good. He was good today.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
got Coach Pearl and Sebastian Williams-Adams. So we'll start with an opening statement from Coach Pearl and then questions for either Sebastian or Coach.
Yeah, first 18 minutes did a great job defending them and did a lot of things that we wanted them to do. They were shooting tough contested twos, which is kind of what the scouting report was. And I thought those last 2 minutes of the first half when we gave up 3 threes was a huge momentum swing in the game because I gave them the confidence that they needed to know that they could knock down those shots. And it carried over into the second half. For them to score 59 points, is unacceptable of our defense, and that's on me as their coach. I got to do a better job. We got to do a better job with our one-on-one defense. Got to have way more pride being able to sit down and guard our man. The guy to my right is really the only one that does that at a high level every single night. Everyone else is capable of doing it, but we got to be able to do it more consistently. And, if a freshman can do it every single possession, I need my better players to be able to do the same thing. So, that was the difference in the game. They made tough one-on-one plays in the second half, and, we got out of character defensively, let them get to their right hands. We stood up a couple times. We didn't contest a couple shots. We got a little out of character from what worked in the first 18 minutes, and ultimately gave them the confidence to go out there and do a lot of really good things offensively. So credit to them because they made those tough shots. And, we scored 92 points. We got to be able to win that game scoring 92 points. It has nothing to do with our offense. It has everything to do with our defense, and our defense has got to get better. So, any questions?
What do you think changed those last 2 minutes? Was it just kind of breakdowns, guys getting lost out there for them to hit those threes?
Yeah, one was, we talked about at the 3-minute mark, we got to finish with 3 perfect checkouts. Very next possession, we get lost and we don't check out Millette, and he gets the offensive rebound, kicks out, and bang a 3. Next possession, we help off the strong side corner, and that was one of the rules, never help off the strong side corner. We actually did the first play too, and another 3. And then we lay on a screen in transition. Not supposed to do that. We're supposed to body over the top of those screens. We lay on it. We go underneath. We yell at the referee for a foul. They bang another 3. So just mental breakdowns, things that we talked about. Trying not to do. Understand that it's going to happen every once in a while, but it can't happen 3 straight possessions, and that's what ultimately allowed them to cut it from 10 to 4, and have confidence going into the second half.
Coach, you talked about those shots eventually falling for Tahad and letting him shoot it. It started to fall for him here. Can you talk about maybe your frustration with getting him going, but then, like you said, scoring 92 points and losing a game like this? Like, how do you fix that?
We've got to guard. Just got to guard. Our best players got to be better defenders. And that can be a challenge, and they can take that, they can take that in a negative way, or they can take it as me just, knowing that they're capable, because they've shown the ability to do so. But, if we're going to beat the best teams on our schedule, our best players have to play better defense. And too many times, we got caught standing up, or we weren't on the right hands, or we didn't finish possessions. And we talked about this being a really important game to having to finish possessions. And, we didn't do a very good job of that tonight.
Coach over here all the way to the left. Keyshawn Murphy, double-double tonight, 13 points, 12 rebounds, 6 offensive, 6 defensive. What have you seen from his game that has grown and made him such a big presence inside on both ends of the floor?
Yeah, I thought tonight he played like he kind of did at the Florida game on the inside. He had 4 offensive rebounds in the first half. And, he's just obviously we've talked about it, but he's just gotten healthier, which, provides a little more pep in his step. And, made a big 3 late. Just does a lot of good things for us. Him and Sebastian both do a ton of good things for us on the inside. And when he plays well, we have a better chance of winning these games. So got to keep it up.
Steven, you only 22 free throws for y'all. It's just low for what y'all usually do. Just frustrated, disappointed that y'all weren't able to get to the line more? Or is it kind of more on maybe the officials not calling it, or y'all not attacking as much? What would you kind of classify that as?
So we took 43 2-point attempts. I thought we attacked the paint pretty hard. I got to watch the film and see if there were some possessions where we didn't get fouls, but no, I thought we did a pretty good job attacking the rim, playing off 2 and trying to finish through contact. So I'll have to watch film and kind of see if, should have been more, but not really sure.
Aiden Holloway had 9 of his 15 points in the last 2.5 minutes. What'd you make of what he did down the stretch?
Yeah, we talked about it was like a 2-point game, and told our guys that a wide pin down was coming, and we're standing straight up out of our stance and get nailed on the pin down, and then we foul the 3-point shooter. Just unacceptable. So can't do that if you want to win basketball games. So, and then hit a really tough one. I thought it was pretty good defense. Made it tough too, same way he did against A&M. But when the previous possession, when you allow him an open 3 and he makes it, that then gives you the confidence to go out there and make a tough shot on the next possession. So, just too casual, too lackadaisical, and we got burned on it. So he made a lot of big plays late, and obviously got to the free throw line and made his free throws. So he, was a huge difference late for them making some tough shots.
Sebastian, it's just the defense starting so well in the first half and then kind of fading. It just, in your perspective, kind of what changed for you guys as a whole?
It started when we stopped communicating on our switches. First half, we were weak switching. We had guys rotating, we had guys flying around. And I would say the second half, there were 2 instances. Bediako just rolled to the rim untouched, which is unacceptable. We knew that. We know his profile was he was a lob threat. He was that, at all levels of basketball he's played. But, it just was unacceptable. We just couldn't communicate, and that kind of started that led to our offense started being stagnant, and then once our offense was stagnant, it started affecting our defense, and until the game is right there.
What did you think of Bediako's impact in the game, especially in the second half?
Yeah, he had a huge impact. But he changes what they do offensively because he's a guy that can catch balls in the air and go finish at the rim. They don't have anyone else that can do that. At least with that athleticism, right? He can catch lobs and finish at the rim. He did a great job. Played really well for him. That's the difference in the game right there. And 12 points and 3 rebounds, and he did a good job of occupying us on the offensive glass. So yeah, he played great. He makes that team better. And, with him, their ceiling is a hell of a lot higher than without him. So I think, we knew their guards were going to be effective. But, he was a major difference in the game, having 12 points, off the bench.
Steven, obviously not pleased with the defense from your team. How do you sort of address that and move forward, try to fix it ahead of the next game?
Yeah, you got to have a, short memory because, you got such a quick turnaround on Tuesday against another really good offensive team. So got to break the film down tonight and just, try and identify like where some of our biggest mistakes were and try and learn and try and grow from it. Vanderbilt runs a ton of offensive sets, so it's going to be really hard to break that down tonight and be able to show the guys and then also try and get prepared for a really unique offense. So I got to do a good job tonight of really just identifying areas that, we got exposed. And, I hope it was just us, having a lack of effort and energy so we can be like, all right, we can't do that anymore. Because when we, like Sebastian said, when we flew around and we finished possessions, you saw what the results were in the first 18 minutes. We didn't make multiple efforts in the second half, and when we did, they made tough shots because we gave them confidence at the end of the first half. So got to break it down tonight and, figure out where we got to get better because, we have another unbelievable opportunity on Tuesday to, wash this one away.
Hey, Steven, just from a game plan perspective, trying to slow down LeBaron Philon, throwing different guards at him. You mentioned that you weren't happy with how you guarded. How difficult is it to try to slow a guy like that down that just seemingly kept coming all night?
Yeah, Sebastian did an unbelievable job of guarding him. And I thought, 2 of his threes were just heavily contested step backs. And the player, he's going to be a first-round draft pick. He does those types of things. So the parts that we got to be able to control is we close out to him, we let him drive it right. You can't do that, because he's just too good of a player going downhill to his right, and he'll take full advantage of it. And he just plays with great tempo and great pace, and he's physical offensively, and just did a great job for him tonight. So made some tough ones, but I think some of our closeouts, which we talked about being really important in this game, weren't disciplined enough. And if 33 wasn't guarding him, then he was having a lot of success.
Sway, just you guys have been in the spot this season, taking tough losses and been able to bounce back. What's the key to that, especially knowing what y'all got coming up next week with Vandy and going to Arkansas?
I mean, honestly, we have our team meetings. We'll talk, and then we just have to have a good practice, stack a good day. I'm gonna say that's really it. At the end of the day, you can't really mull on this loss. If you make it your everything, then we're not going to be ready for the next game, and then it's going to be a repeat of what happened. So we've been here before. We'll bounce back from it. We'll be better on Tuesday.
Stephen, you guys only had 5 turnovers tonight, but only kind of like a statistical anomaly. How do you get more production from your bench guys moving into Vanderbilt?
Yeah, I think Elijah was in foul trouble. Phillip's got to play more. I got to find ways to get Phillip more minutes. That's we got to be 13 minutes is not enough for Phillip. We got to fix that. And Blake missed an open 3 and an open layup. So, our bench production has been better. Elijah's been a spark, but him being in foul trouble, that's where a lot of the production comes from. But the offense has nothing to do with it. Scored 92 points. That should be enough to win any game in our league. Todd had a better offensive performance. KO was making some shots. 4 of our best offensive players had pretty good nights. Had nothing to do with our offense. Has everything to do with our defense. So, if we want to win games, we'll sit down and guard like we did when we had that 4-game stretch, a couple weeks ago. If we want to continue to have tough results and continue to talk about the things that we got to do better, then we'll do what we did tonight. But this team's done a great job of bouncing back, after tough situations. We just got to stay consistent, like Seb said. Got to learn from it, and we just got to move on because, this league, the next one comes really quick. And if you, harp on this for too long, it'll affect your performance on Tuesday, and we can't let that happen. Thanks.